Assalamu warahmatullah.
Here I'm with Mr.
Hassan Selim.
Hassan Selim,
I am the Imam for the Islamic Center of Cedar Rapids.
the center of the Cedar Rapids.
Yes.
Uh, how long have you been taking care of the mosque?
For here, over 6 years, maybe 6.5 to 7 years.
So it's your 6 years right now?
Yeah, 6.5.
Six
Yeah,
and a half.
yeah, over than 6 years.
Wow, it's
More
been a
than
long
6
time.
years. Yeah, very long time. I'm starting to feel like this is home.
Yeah, I mean I've been here since since August.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just being home
Yeah,
for us.
really. That's the good thing about Iowa
Yeah.
and the Midwest is the people are very kind. Right away, you don't feel you feel you can belong right away.
Yeah.
They make you feel welcome. It's called Iowa Nice. This is the signature of the state of Iowa. You know, there's corn.
There's corns,
there's
of course.
a lot of corn, but there's also a lot of nice people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So you
admit
feel
that.
at home right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can feel it there because they're more open.
Mhm.
I wanna tell my experience. Last time I went to Walmart, and one of the people there just like said to me like are you a Muslim? Oh, yeah. She told me there's a mosque in Cedar Rapids. She just want me to feel welcome here.
Yes, this is exactly my very first day in Iowa, in Cedar Rapids. I went to Hy-Vee, grocery store, and the same thing happened that we were looking, my wife and I were looking for an item and we didn't find it, and the lady said, "You wait here, I'll go look for you and help you." And then she went to look for the product and came back and said, "I'm very sorry, we don't have it, but we have something similar to it." To me, that was my very first experience of people of Iowa, that they were very kind, very helpful.
Yeah, true. Because I mean, when before I came here, I searched on internet. Yeah. Well, they say like Americans are more individualism.
Yeah, they like to have their own life and they kind of do not communicate.
Yeah.
But it's not like this everywhere. Some big cities, I think I went to some big cities, and that's you will rarely have conversations with people in public transportations or in going to work or something. Here it's you will rarely not have conversations with people. If you are walking in the street and you pass by someone, at least they say hi, at least they say hello. Or sometimes people will strike a conversation and say the weather is nice or it's cold or this or that, and then you start having a long conversation with them like you've known them for a long time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's really a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where you come from, sir?
Originally, I was born and raised in Cairo, Egypt.
Oh, in Egypt.
In Egypt, and I studied there, and I went to a seminary there, and then I moved here in 2012.
Did you study in Al Azhar?
I did study at Al Azhar.
Oh.
Yes, yeah. This is my school.
Yeah, I also have a teacher that studied in Al Azhar too.
Yes, a lot of people I studied with were from Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, from all over the world. Actually, I had American classmates and people from just across the globe.
Yeah.
Came to Egypt to study at Al Azhar. It's one of the most famous and trustworthy Muslim seminaries.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you probably have a title LC, right?
Huh?
What's the title of when you studied?
Azhari.
Oh.
Azhari.
Azhari.
Yeah. Azhari means a student who belonged to the school of Al Azhar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So so today our topic is how we are as Muslim react to Christmas Eve.
Yes.
How we should, right?
Yes.
So I go to school in US in Manchester, and I also I'm enrolled in music program,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a baritone player,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like the last time we did a concert
Mm-hmm.
for Christmas
Mm-hmm.
concert and
Mm-hmm.
winter assembly, things
Okay,
like that.
that's great.
And of
Good.
course we played music like um, sleigh ride
Okay.
for like it
Christmas
was the
themed,
Christmas
Christmas
theme.
themed music.
Yeah,
Okay,
also.
yeah.
And do you think we as a Muslim are okay to play that or not?
So you are asking a very good question. I here actually just today, my article as a reflection on Christmas is published in the Eastern Iowa Gazette. So if you buy the paper on your way back home, you will find my article as a reaction to or not a reaction, a reflection on the season of Christmas.
Uh,
For me, and that's what I teach the people that come to the mosque, and that's what I hope many Muslims who live in America and in the West in general, this is how they will look at Christmas. Uh, we as Muslims always look at the Quran as a guidance. We also look at Prophet Muhammad's teachings for guidance to tell us how do we react to something, what do we believe about regarding this or that. When you look at the Quran, we have a chapter named Maryam. Maryam means
Maryam.
Mary, Virgin Mary.
Yeah, Virgin Mary.
Yeah, the mother of Jesus.
Jesus.
That chapter actually gives details about the miraculous birth of Jesus.
Jesus.
Okay, it gives the details, and the unique thing about that chapter is it's the only chapter the only chapter in the Quran that takes the name of a female character.
Female character.
And not just this, Maryam or Mary, Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus, is the only woman mentioned in the Quran by name. And this in multiple places and in occasions of praise and admiration, showing us as Muslims that we have to believe in and look up to these two examples, Mary and Jesus.
Yeah.
They teach us from their story a lot about faith, about trust in God. They teach us a lot of things about purity of character, of morality, what's right and what's wrong. But also, that's in the Quran. We look at the Prophet Muhammad, alayhi salatu wasalam, peace be upon him. We look at him during the early Meccan era, where Muslims lived in Mecca.
Before they went to
before
Medina.
they migrated to Medina, Muslims faced a lot of trials and a lot of oppression. So what did Prophet Muhammad instructed his followers? He instructed a group of them to actually migrate to cross the Red Sea west towards Africa and to migrate to a country called Abyssinia. It is now modern time country of Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
Why did the Prophet Muhammad choose this place? Why did he want his followers to cross the sea and go there and not somewhere else? The words he says, according to the sources we have, is that he said there is a Christian king in that country who is just and who is caring and who is you can live there among the Christians in Abyssinia without having to fear any persecution, without having to fear any oppression. You will be welcomed there. And
the
true,
toleration there were really peaceful. Yeah.
peaceful, not just toleration. We're talking about justice. We're talking about generosity. We're talking about hospitality. All of these things are inspired by the teachings of Jesus. So Muslims migrated there. And not only that, but when the people from Mecca sent a convoy to go after these migrants and bring them back, they went there, and the king said, "Before I give you these people that are living in asylum among us in this Christian nation, I have to hear from them first. I have to see why you are after them and why you are kind of accusing them." So he brought the Muslim representatives of the migrants, and he heard from them. He said, "Is your book, the book that you follow, and the prophet that you follow, what do they say about Jesus? What do they say about Christianity? What do they say about Mary?" And the representative of the Muslim migrants read from Surah Maryam and read the verses that describe the miraculous birth of Jesus. And our sources say that the king and the bishops and the priests and the clergy that were kind of with him at this moment, they wept, they cried because of how emotional the account of the details of the birth of Jesus were. And so he said, "You are welcome. I will not give you, you are welcome in here. I will not send you back to Mecca with this convoy." And he said also, "What you read to me is similar to what I read in my Bible." He also said, the both of them have come from the same source. The same source. So what I'm trying to say, by looking at all of that, the Quran also teach us to find the common ground and a common statement and the commonalities between us and the people of the book, the Christians and the Jews, to find the common grounds.
Rather than the differences.
Rather than the differences. Now, you have to be careful that differences is good. Differences are good. They make us unique.
Yeah.
They make us who we are. This diversity in the world is something God meant for us, that we are different. Okay? There is nothing wrong with differences. However, when we live in times, we have to be smart as Muslims and as people. We have to be wise. When we live in times where there are already so many divisions and differences, and there are wars and there are conflicts because of this, because we emphasize these differences and we kind of amplify them, we have to be wise to find the commonalities and amplify them. So if my neighbors, and if my, of the people I live with, celebrating the birth of Jesus, whom again the Quran describes his birth as miraculous, the Quran describes him as a sign from God, the Quran describes him as mercy to the world, but the Quran describes him as the word of God, all of that, and they are celebrating that, then I have, my job as a Muslim is to find what can I agree with in that, what can I celebrate with in that, what can I relate to in this story, and find that and make it my common ground between me and my Christian neighbors. Okay, so in that I see that Christmas is a time, while I personally will not kind of like celebrate Christmas in the sense, the traditional sense of a tree and light and in all of that, but I also find commonalities during that time, and this commonality is our love and admiration of both Mary and Jesus, of our we look up to them both as examples that we follow, that they have teachings of justice, of generosity and hospitality and faith and trust. All of that is something that we have to that we can agree on. Okay, do we have differences? Yeah, we have differences, but again, this can be a topic of a debate, a theological debate in a classroom, in an academic sense. It is not a matter where we just hang it as signs on our chest and walk around with signs saying we are different, we are different. I think that this is, and I hope also that my Christian brothers and sisters during the time of Eid and during the time of Ramadan will reach out to me and try to find commonality, and they do. So this mutual respect, this mutual kind of admiration, I think it's something good. I don't see anything wrong with it. But again, I'm not asking my fellow brothers and sisters in Islam to go out there and do something that they are not comfortable doing. If I'm not saying let's bring a Christmas tree and put some presents and put the light. I'm not asking the Muslims to do that, but I'm asking them to find something that they can agree on and they can find beautiful in that the festivities of the times
Yeah.
of Christmas.
Yeah, like when usually in Christmas, people give Christmas presents to other people, yeah, through family members.
Yeah.
Well, basically, well, what when I did that, well, I thought like, oh, it could be like just sharing peaceful to them and just
Not just this. The Prophet Muhammad says, again, and we follow his example. He says, "Tahadu tahabbu." When you exchange gifts with one another, that increases love between you. And this is a general statement, meaning you can give presents to people at any time.
yeah.
And this giving of presents and exchanging of presents will create love among people. And so, there is absolutely no theological, there is no theological or religious problem in giving a gift to your friends from school, to your host family, to your neighbors during the Christmas time. Also, congratulating and greeting people. Just saying Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
saying Happy Holidays, saying I wish you happy times with family. Saying that, the Prophet says, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut." Whomever believe in God and the Day of Judgment, let them either say something good or not say anything at all. Be silent. And also the Quran says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. This is a general statement, a principle that Muslims must live by. Say good and great things and excellent things to, and beautiful things to all the people. Okay? And that gives us the understanding that greeting people on Christmas also is part of this Quranic principle. Greet people. Say happy holidays. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Oh, there's nothing. Yeah, well, I actually live in Indonesia, which one is the majority of the people are Muslim. So sometimes when I ask to one of my ustads or imams there, and they said like, well, we're okay to say, well, we're not okay to say to them like Merry Christmas, but probably well, I hear that probably I will get better explanation from you because you live here. I mean, we live here.
Exactly. See, my philosophy is always I don't like the Quran says there is no la ikraha fi din. We cannot force people to do things or not to do things. We cannot force people to behave in a certain way. And also, as I said, diversity is great. So some people. I'm sure many imams and I'm sure many theologians and scholars might say, we disagree with you. They might say we disagree with you. We cannot greet people on their on the occasion of their religious holidays. They might say we cannot give presents. They might say like we don't need to go an extra mile and find commonalities and all of that. Okay, I mean, we
It's
can
your
we can
point of view,
yeah,
right?
point of view, and you are entitled to it, and I respect it. But I will also hold my point of view. My point of view is based on an understanding of the Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, as we live in the reality that we interact with. If I am like in a Muslim majority country where Christmas isn't like something that I grew up with, I totally understand someone making these statements. I totally understand and I totally, give them the benefit of the doubt. But we don't live in a Muslim majority country.
Yeah.
We don't live in Indonesia or Egypt or Morocco. We are living in a society that is majority Christians, and Christmas is a very
Big holiday.
time of the year. If we follow this point of view and this philosophy, we it just will make life unpleasant for everyone, for us, for our neighbors, for our many Muslims here, if not all Muslims, have Christian neighbors, Christian co-workers, Christian teachers. Their kids go to schools with Christian kids. This is very this is the reality.
This is the
reality.
True.
And when we have to be wise and we have to be in understanding our religion and living our reality. So that's just my understanding of my deen. If I am wrong, I hope that God is merciful to forgive my view if it's wrong, but it is based on a sincere and a sincere attempt to understand my faith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, there's that's our way to adapt here, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like you say that we are, yeah, this is what it is, though.
Yeah. This is the reality. And again, some Muslims do not feel comfortable doing that. And again, I cannot force them to do what they don't feel comfortable doing. It's
Yeah.
their choices, and they might feel actually safe and happy. I think the problem here lies within, like a threat, meaning if some people feel okay if I start if I have kids or if I'm young or whatever, and I'm like greeting people on Christmas and saying we have to find commonalities and all of this, maybe generation or two or three from now, my kids will become Christian themselves. Number one, we don't know what's in the future. Number two, that shows a weakness of faith. Like,
Yeah.
is your faith so weak that you are worried that if you say Merry Christmas to someone, you become a Christian, or if
Yeah.
you say Happy Hanukkah, you become Jewish, or if they say Happy Ramadan, they become Muslims? It doesn't work
Yeah,
like
it
this.
doesn't work like that.
I am a Muslim. I'm very, I love my religion. I'm very committed to it, and at the same time, I do not see any threat in me greeting my Christian brothers and sisters, or sharing the joy of the holidays with them in any way possible, whether it's by giving a gift or smiling at them, or it's this is the just decency, human decency. This is the human decency. This is the right of the neighbors. We have in Islam the right of the neighbors. What is the right of the neighbors if not sharing with them these moments of joy, and then moments of sorrow as well? If it happens that my neighbors are going through difficult times, if I don't feel their sorrow and their pain, then I'm not fulfilling the right of neighbors, which is a big responsibility in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, one time, he said that Gabriel, which is the archangel of revelation, came to him one night, and he kept reminding him of the right of his neighbors. The Prophet Muhammad said, peace be upon him, until I thought the next thing Jibreel or Gabriel will say is, your neighbor is your heir, the one who will inherit you after you die. That shows how close your neighbor should be. And neighbor doesn't only mean the person next door, but it means the people that you share a country with, the people that you share a city with, the people that you share a community with.
Yeah. In the fact, though, I mean, right now, our family members are far away from here. So what we have neighbors.
This become your family.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you are staying with a host family. This host family probably have put the tree, and they have the presents, and they have the lights.
Yeah. We did actually.
But how? Okay, in a scenario where people might think, okay, we do not participate in this. You stay in your room and you don't really kind of interact with the people that you share bread with every day, and like this it's a picture of the world that I think is very cruel. Yeah.
Sure.
My take on this.
Yeah. Well, actually, I live with my friend. Well, he is from Azerbaijan.
Oh.
He is a Muslim too.
Yeah.
We help each other. I mean, we put a tree on it, we decorate it, but I mean, for what I think is, as long as we feel like we are we're helping. We're helping it. And I think as long as it like that, and that's fine.
I think it is fine. This is the more we learn about the world, the more we give out there to the world and participate, the more we feel strong as and have faith in humanity, have faith in God, that God is merciful, that we have hope in this world to live together. If we just look at life as stay in your corner and I stay in my corner, I stay in my, you know, safe zone and bubble and all of that, and you stay in yours, and we don't interact, and you don't, you know, all we have is, you know, disagreements and differences. This is just, it makes people actually faith in God in general, you know, very weak.
Yeah.
You know, it makes people feel that what's the point of life, just to be different and to think the other is bad and I am better, and the other will think I am bad and they are better. That's just not my, not how I want to see or live in this world. Yeah.
Sure. All right. And yeah, I think that's all for today. Well, thank you so much, Ustad.
You're welcome. You are welcome, and I hope that your project will go well.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
My pleasure.
Assalamualaikum
Wa alaikum
warahmatullahi.
assalam.